Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here with a little bit more couch talk with Carfish. Starting the day off over here, thought I would sit down and have a little chat about some of my upcoming projects. Of course, we know that I completed the breakaway video, which was a huge undertaking, and I'm glad to have that done. But once I finished that project, then there was a whole bunch of projects waiting in the wings, and started working on some of those. Hopefully the next single will be released along with a video before the end of Vlogtober. Hopefully, if not shortly thereafter. I'm sure I mentioned that. And a whole bunch of other ones as well. But in the spring, I believe it was my spring update before I had really come all the way back, I talked about maybe doing a new record, or maybe there was 3 or 4 projects that I would get underway. And some of those are still percolating in the old brain over here. I don't know necessarily which one I would do next. The thoughts on another record lead me to thinking that the songs that I've already started are a little aged to be with a new record. So I should probably lump them in with the singles projects that I'm working on ahead of that. And some of the other ideas for records are a little bit more thematic than I like. Some of them might go under my alternate persona of Gunther Skunk, so there don't necessarily have to be Catfish Jones tracks or stuff like that, because they're a little bit too, I don't want to say gimmicky, but one of the ideas similar to this synthwave collection that I just released, one of the ideas is like a 70s radio, where I go through and record as different artists in like 74 or 75, and trying to match the sensibilities and the sounds of that era, and then also like record it like it's a snippet of radio, so with maybe advertisements or disc jockey from the era and the time, the location, all of that right in there. So it might be a 45-minute chunk of recording with 5 to 7, maybe 10 songs, and some other stuff mixed in, so it feels like a radio. To me, that is not a Catfish Jones record. That's not how I want it to be. It's in my mind, and I want to do that project as a piece of art, but it's not a Catfish Jones record. So I don't know exactly how I'll do that, or when I'll find time for it with all the other projects going on. But it's one that, to me, once that idea started moving around, I really found a kinship with it. These cats are just racing all through the living room. But that's okay. That's what cats do. The other major album idea I have is certainly the successor to Layers, in the continuation from Etchings to Layers. And I don't really like to think of them as theme records or concept albums, because those kind of had a bad connotation with them. I feel like when you do a record as opposed to a collection of songs, it does kind of have a general theme or a general feeling that all of the songs kind of connect with. And certainly not doing a musical out of it, not trying to tell a whole story from start to finish in narrative verse with a record. But I do want to make sure that all of the songs on it come together as one piece, individual pieces that make one piece, which make the whole album its own art form, if that makes sense. And there's some collections I want to do as well, which is why I'm working on these singles right now with, I did the Synthwave collection, which I had been kind of messing with, and then I did Breakaway, which was leading off from that. I think the last time I did a collection was Tales from the Internet Volume 1, which is somewhere on this YouTube channel, and it was a collection of stuff from my Catfish Jones Bandcamp. And so I might try to finish up a whole collection of singles before I get started on this next record. I think I have enough singles with the 3 or 4 songs that I started for the record that are now aged. I think aged out of contention for the record, and can just do them as singles along with the rest of these. And while I'm doing that, I can learn kind of this new recording system that I'm working on, see if I can take what I've used on the old system and apply it to a new system. The best way to do that is just practice and having a scratch pad to work it on, and songs to do it with, and the time and energy to make it all happen. So if all of those come together, we should see plenty more projects, at least musically, from Catfish Jones. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of painting projects, certainly some story projects, and that's a whole nother avenue that I can't stop myself from just, I don't know, jotting down ideas and sometimes working on them when there's nothing else going on. A lot of stuff happening right here from Catfish Jones, but I better get at the day, so I hope yours as well. And until I see you again, cheers.